Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and you are welcome to the Shabbat of this morning. The parasha that we are going to discuss about this morning is known as Parshas BeHa'alotekha, which is it means when you rise up. BeHa'alotekha meaning when you rise up, and I subtitle it. My subtitle of this morning is Stereotyping of Women in Our Tradition. The stereotype of women in our tradition. And that is what I want to discuss about more this morning. Because remember, firstly, I would like to say that I am not a feminist, please. And you know me for that. I am not a feminist. I am not a sexist. Neither am I, definitely I am not a marcho. Understand that? Please. I want you to understand that. I want to take that out of the way. And that being said, I want to discuss with us today the text written by Dr. Rachel Adler. Okay? Dr. Adler is a visiting faculty member of the Hebrew Union University at Los Angeles. I wanted to discuss what she talks about concerning the Parshas BeHa'alotekha this morning. I've been trying to digest it, but when I read an article, it gives me more understanding and more depth concerning what actually the Torah of this morning is talking about. And I want to base my teaching of this morning concerning, I'm going to speak very, very slowly. I'm going to base my teaching of this morning concerning the issue that happened concerning Miriam, Aaron, and Moshe, the three siblings. That the issue of Lashon Hara. So that is what I'm going to base my teaching on this morning. In their book Metaphor, We Live By, Lakoff and Johnson recount that an Iranian student was charmed by the English expression, the solution of my problems. He imagined a bubbling vat full of liquefied problems. The goal was to dissolve one problem without having other problem precipitate out. In this metaphor, problems can't be made to disappear. At the best, they can be kept fluid rather than intractably solid. What I'm trying to say that this Iranian student have an idea that it was so a charm by the English expression that said the solution to my problem, and imagine that that he wants a problem to be what? To be gone without another problem coming up. You want to dissolve a problem. You want to dissolve one problem without another arising in its place. You want to make the problem not to disappear, but to make them a liquefied one, right? So it's so to say, as if to say, I just want the problem to be buried. Okay, something like that. Parshas BeHa'alotekha contains a story for which in our commentary, our rabbis, try to solve one problem and another arises in its place. So, the story is in the number chapter 12, Bamidbar chapter 12, where Aaron and Miriam criticize Moshe. Remember, criticism. Our people are known for criticism. Criticism is good, but it must be a constructive criticism, not a destructive criticism. There is difference between these two criticisms. You want to criticize in order to uplift, not to criticize in order to destroy, to pull down. Alright? So, criticism is normal. It's a normal way of life. Without criticism, no one will grow. Without criticism, you will not be better. Right? Without criticism, you will not want to achieve the best of yourself. So once you are criticized but constructively, then you can become, you can grow up and you can do more to achieve a better result. Okay? That is what I'm talking about. Not a destructive criticism, but a constructive criticism. But let's see what kind of criticism Miriam and Aaron did. The story is in Number chapter 12, as I said, where Aaron and Miriam criticize their brother Moshe. And Miriam is struck with the impure skin disease the Torah call tzara'at. What is frustrating about this story is that by solving one problem, the rabbis, I guess, precipitate another out. Problem appear in the first verse of the chapter. Now I'm going to use the Everett Fox translation here because he actually captured the flavor of the Hebrew word so well. It's a translation. This translation is very nice. Okay, it's translated by Everett Fox. Now, Miriam spoke and Aaron against Moshe on account of the Cushite wife that he had taken in marriage. Listen, I repeat again. Now, Miriam spoke and Aaron against Moshe on account of the Cushite wife that he has taken to wife. I just want to give a little bit of explanation here. Remember the word Cush. Cush is a descendant of Ham. Okay? Cush has brothers, and Cush has his brother are Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. Okay? These are the descendants of Ham. And the children of Cush are what? Seba, Sabata, and Havilah with their brothers all to Nimrod. Okay? So I want us to understand that because people think that when you use the word Cush, Cush automatically meaning black. No. It's the name of a man. Yes, the man might be black and Mizraim and so on and so forth. All of them are all black people. Okay? So, but in Hebrew, when you use the word Cush, we mean black. The subject of the first verb are Miriam and Aaron. Remember that. Because it said, now Miriam spoke and Aaron. That is both of them. But the verb is feminine, singular. Moreover, who is this Cushite wife? Who is he? We don't know her. Because remember that the Torah said that Moshe's wife was what? Was a Midianite. Is this equivalent to the Midianite woman, the Zipporah? Or otherwise, another Ethiopian wife that we don't know about? Who is this mysterious woman? If Moses' mysterious wife is an Ethiopian, as the Torah said, are we now saying that Miriam and Aaron are trying to be a racist? Remember, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Miriam and Aaron are Caucasian. No. Because the Torah gave us the explanation perfectly well that Moshe was living in Egypt in the palace of Pharaoh, and they raised Moshe as one of them. And in those days, the Pharaoh were all dark skinned, as Cush is a brother of Mizraim. So Moshe cannot be a Caucasian. So don't get me wrong. Or do they, like Ezra, disapprove of marriage with foreigner? Remember what Ezra did after their return from Babylon. He said that, you know what? All the Jews, all Israelites, not Israel, all Yehudian should cast away their wife because they married from other, people or other Canaanites. That they should send away their wives and their children. That they should go and marry only within themselves. Is Miriam a kind of an Ezra, saying that I disapprove the marriage of my brother Moshe to a foreigner? Or is there anything that is going on under the ground that we don't know? Is it a kind of a power struggle? Is it a kind of a political struggle? The text does not specify the content of the criticism. Oddly enough, the second verse drops the issue of Moses, or of Moses' wife,
completely and instead contest Moses' monopoly on leadership. You can see. So the main thing, the main contest or the main issue was the monopoly of Moshe on leadership, on power. They don't like that. They don't want that. Or they think that they've been deprived of their own share of leadership. It is only through Moshe that Adonai speak. They said, that is their question, among themselves, among Aaron and his sister Miriam. Is it only through Moshe that Adonai speaks? They ask themselves. Is it not also through us? You see, this is a kind of a pretext. They wanted to use the wife of Moshe as a pretext for what is disturbing them. And what is disturbing them is the monopoly that they imagine in their mind, that Moshe is monopolizing power to himself alone. He's grasping everything for himself, whereby he's not sharing with them. Is it the leadership issue that Adonai got angry? It is because of the leadership issue that Miriam and Aaron were discussing that God, the Holy One, blessed be He, God got him angry. And lengthy defense of Moses it dominates that chapter. Remember that the Lord is all-knowing God. He knows the heart of every one of us. He knows the heart of Miriam, why Miriam was commenting such a comment. He knows the mind and the heart of Aaron, why Aaron and his sister were making such a criticism against their brothers. And this criticism was not a constructive one, but a destructive criticism. Why is Moshe every time? Every time Moshe, and he's the last born. I am the firstborn, I am the secondborn, and he's not sharing power with us. He wants to monopolize all the power to himself alone. You see, that is lashara. That is a destructive criticism. Remember that this is family. They are the same father, the same mother. If they begin to destroy themselves, the country will not stand. Israel will be destroyed, because the foundation of a nation is a family. That is the foundation of a country. The foundation of a community. The foundation of a town. The foundation of a city. The foundation of a country. The basic foundation is family. And when family are not united, and when family are fighting one another, and when family are destroying themselves, how can you raise a town, a community, a village, a state, a country out of such a place? And so this is what God, the Holy One, blessed be He, got him angry. You people, can't you not see what your brother is doing? Can't you not see that your brother is doing his best? Why can't you unite together, collaborate together, and help him and assist him out? Why are you criticizing him destructively? Documentary and historical criticism can account for these problems. If the Torah is composed of various traditions that have been edited into a single document, verse 1 and 2 may represent two different stories. Remember, the Torah is two that is edited to become one. We have the white Torah, right? And we have the e-Torah. We have the Yehudim Torah, and we have the Ephraimite Torah that is edited to become one, that we are reading now. Right? The story, or the first story, originally involved only Miriam. Hence, the singular feminine verb. It places its criticism of Moses' wife in the mouth of another prominent woman. That is, as the saying goes, that women are the worst enemy of themselves. Right? Miriam is punished for this criticism with tzara'at because of her lashon hara. The second story takes up one of the major themes of the book of Numbers. challenges to Moses' authority and question about the distribution of leadership. That is not the first. This is actually one of the main first time when when a group of people will rise up against the leadership of Moshe. And this is what is from the internal, from what? From his own family. They say the worst enemy is the internal enemy, not the enemy that is outside. Because the enemy that is outside knows nothing about you. The enemy outside cannot do you anything. The enemy outside has no idea of you, of who you are. But the most dangerous enemy is the internal one. Why? Because the internal enemy knows you very well. He knows what you eat, what you like, how you sit, how you stand, when you go to the bathroom, when you come in. He knows everything about you. And this is what God is trying to prevent. You cannot criticize your brother destructively this way. This is absolutely insane. This is not right. Because if you, sibling, cannot get your act together, how can you get the act of the nation, of the country, of the young people together? This is a young nation that is just being formed. And if if you cannot get your act together and become one and act like one, then the country will be destroyed. The young nation will not survive, because both three of you are now fighting for power. So this is what God wants to avoid. You have to stand up, and we can see this later in the book, in the story of Korah again. When these men, they rose up against Moses' authority, but in this case they rose up against Aaron. Say, oh, why is the leadership is shared only among the family of Moshe Rabbeinu? And we saw the consequence of what happened to those men. Behind the conflict of Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, the historian deduced different groups struggling for sacred authority. Because remember that the meat of the matter is right within them. Why? Because they know perfectly well that once you have authority, once you have religious authority, once you have the religious power, you can do what? You can control. Many people say, I always tell everybody that religion is a fraud. And it's my belief. I don't know what you believe. Religion is a fraud. Why? Because religion is to control people. But faith is not. That's why, as for me, I do not consider Judaism as a religion. Because there is no religion that our forefather Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob had. The Torah said they have faith in God, and it was counted unto Abraham as a righteousness. It is faith that saves, not religion. I have never heard, I have never seen, I have never learned where a religion saved a man. No, it is your faith in the Holy One, blessed be He, that saves a man. The voice of Adonai confirmed the unique authority of Moshe in the special poetic language of prophecy. It says, now I'm going to read number chapter 12, verse 6 to 8. If there should be among you a prophet of Adonai, in a vision to him I make myself known. In a dream I speak to him. Not so my servant Moshe. In all my house trusted is he. Mouth to mouth I speak to him. In plain sight, not with riddles. And the form of Adonai is what he beholds. So why were you not so well So why are you not too outstruck to speak against my servant Moshe? God was questioning them. If there is a prophet among you, I do what? I make myself known to him in riddles, in dreams, in vision. But to Moses, it's not like that. Mouth to mouth, I speak with Moshe. Moshe has a direct line to me, not like both of you. This critical approach creates so many questions as it solves. Why match the two stories, and why match them so poorly? If the editor takes the trouble to add Aaron's name, why didn't they also make the verb agree? Miriam and Aaron speak no more than the truth when they aside that Adonai does not speak only to Moses, which is true. Yes, Adonai does not only speak with Moses, right? Adonai speaks with Miriam and with Aaron too. But that is half true. That is not the whole truth. That is what half true. Yes, it is true that God speaks to what? To Miriam. And yes, it is true that God speaks to Aaron. But that is half true. That is not the whole truth. It's like when we were talking yesterday at Shabbat, I was giving an example. Right? Okay, all of us are in high school. The high school called Henry Borasa. Right? All of us are in high school. The high school called Henry Borasa. All of us are all there. But remember, high school has grade. We have what? Grade 7 to grade 11. Right? So yes, all of us are in Henry Borasa, but all of us are in different grade. Miriam and Aaron are in grade 7 and in grade 8 or in grade 9. But Moshe is in grade 11. Almost all of you can be in Henry Borasa, yes. But the grade is different. Aaron and Miriam cannot match Moshe prophecy. The prophecy level of Moshe is too advanced. The Torah gives us the understanding. For Aaron to come before God, Aaron need what? Need a sacrifice. Aaron has to sacrifice to come before God. Aaron has to kill the bull, cleanse himself, cleanse his family, cleanse the Levite, cleanse the entire Israel before he can approach God, right? But Moshe wasn't like that. Moshe has a direct line. Moshe can go to God at any time, right? It doesn't need any sacrifices or anything. So the level of this prophecy is too advanced. Even though God himself made that known, mouth to mouth, like, when you use the word mouth to mouth, meaning kissing, it's an intimacy. Me and Moshe are different, or Moshe is different to you. Your level of prophecy is not the same level of prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu, my servant, because Moshe is my intimate friend. All of you are my friend, but we have different levels in different grade. That's what I'm trying to say. So why are you not afraid to speak against my servant, Moshe? Why is it sinful for them to wish that leadership be shared? It's not sinful, but it depends on their state of mind, the state of their heart. Why are they criticizing their brother in a negative form? Trying to use a pretext of a woman to achieve their goals. Because they might be thinking, you know what? Yes, we are Israelites, right? Yes, Moshe, his wife, is a foreigner. And they have 2 sons. So, are you saying that these foreigners' children will come and control us? Are you saying that, okay, when Moshe is gone, is these 2 foreign boys will come and be our leader and be controlling us? We don't understand. We don't know what is happening in the mind of Aaron and in the mind of Miriam. I cannot judge, but I'm speaking like a man now. You see, because this is a political power struggle that we have to understand. Right? If the editor, as I said, took all this trouble to add Aaron's name, why didn't they also make the verb to agree? Alright. If Miriam and Aaron are allied, why is it only Miriam that was disgraced? Like the story of the golden calf. This is another puzzling situation in which Aaron is guilty
but get off scot-free. It's always like that. Aaron always go scot-free. You see, in the situation of the golden calf, he escaped. Nothing happens to him. And in this case again, he escaped again. Nothing happens to him. Only the woman was punished. Only the woman was disgraced. But the man, Aaron, was not touched. So what happened? Why this? Is it a kind of a plan where the rabbi trying not to allow women to take up an authority? Is it a kind of a plan that the rabbi are trying to justify their actions through what happened in this parasha? Why, moreover, is Miriam punished so harshly? Not only is she afflicted with tzara'at and shut out of the camp for a week, but Adonai's explanation brutally underlines the shamefulness of the punishment. If our father spite, yes, spite in her face, will she not be put to shame for 7 days? At least, said Adonai. Remember, Adonai is our father, and is the one that brought us up upon his mighty wings. Remember what it means to be a face in the Torah. What is this? What is the meaning of a face? What does it mean among our people? A face is the location of personal dignity, the meeting place between self and other, the place where spirituality shines. We normally read God's face and especially God's mouth confer intimacy upon Moshe. Mouth to mouth, I speak to him. As I said, total intimacy, like kissing. It's a total intimacy between God and Moshe. From that same mouth, Miriam receives the ultimate gesture of contempt, the defacement of the face. This story marks the defacement of Miriam's reputation. In Exodus, Miriam is the savior of infant Moses. She washes over his basket on the Nile and boldly offers a mother service to Pharaoh's daughter at the Sea of Reeds. The text calls her a prophetess, which is true. She sings and leads a victory dance dedicated to the divine warrior. In fact, sings victory songs in the Torah are a woman genius. Most documentary critics believe that the original songs at the sea was Miriam, and that later editor transferred it to Moses. In Numbers, however, Miriam is associated principally with impurity, with tumah. She is the archetypal case of tzara'at. It is from Aaron's plea on our behalf that we learn that the imagery of tzara'at is linked to death and decomposition. It is the antithesis of creation, the opposite of creation. Do not pray, let her be like a dead child who, when it comes out of the mother's womb, is eaten up in half its flesh. tzara'at reduces the mother of the people to a miscarried fetus, as if her accomplishment had never existed. Remember what I'm saying here. See that all the accomplishment of Miriam as a prophetess, as the one that sang, that led all the women to sing praises unto Adonai after the crossing of the Red Sea. That she was the one that saved her brother Moshe from death by offering his mother's service to the daughter of Pharaoh. Where are all those accomplishments? Where are they all? It's all gone in a moment. What? Because this is the reason why I'm saying that most of our rabbis understand this phrase as an ability not to allow women to take up an authority in the community.
as far as I'm concerned, women are capable to do a lot of things. Women are capable to be a teacher. Women are capable of doing great things that sometimes some men are afraid. We can see great women in the Torah, like Deborah, like Esther, like Sarah, like Rahel, like Leah. We can mention those great women that we have in the Torah. Our mothers that stood by us, that did everything for us. So why is it that the rabbis mostly want to keep the women out of authority? Because anything you ask them, they want to give the example of Miriam, of this situation that happened. To me, as a person, I will encourage the women, I will encourage my daughters to rise to the highest authority. It is very, very important. We need to teach them. We need to advise them. Yes, there is a place for women and there is a place for men. A woman cannot be a Kohen Gadol. The Torah did not tell us that a woman can be a Kohen Gadol. No. But a woman can be a teacher, but not like a rabbi in the synagogue. A woman can be a teacher of the women, right? A woman can be a teacher of the children, right? Everything has a place. The duty of a man is different from the duty of a woman. The duty of the woman is different from the duty of the man. The statement that said that what a man can do, a woman can do better. Fine. But I don't want us to transfer the faculty or the department of men upon women, or transfer the department of the women upon the men. That won't work. Because God that created man and woman is not stupid. He created them, the Torah says he created them equal. We are both equal before God. Man is not like this and women like this. No, we are both equal before God, the men and the women. But our responsibility, our work are different. The man's work is to defend, the man's work is to provide for his family. While the women's work is to take care of his home and take care of everything concerning their children. Right? But in the 21st century, we've seen where people want to turn the whole thing upside down. Right? They want to put the man in the place of the women and the woman in the place of the men, which won't work. It will never work. They want to destroy the foundation of civilization, which is family. They tell you, you know what? A man can live together with another man. A woman can live together with another woman, and they can both bear children. So you can have two fathers and two mothers. Where is that? Does it even make sense? These are extreme form of feminism, or extreme form of some people that call themselves liberal, or those people that want to say cancel culture. They want to destroy the fundament of civilization, which is the family. As for me, I do not support that. In Numbers, however, Miriam is we never hear about Miriam again in the Torah after this incident. Even Adler in Numbers chapter 20, verse 1 is juxtaposed with an account of impurity and its contaminations. Feminist historical critics ask whether Miriam discrediting marks a movement to out women from communal leadership and from sacred activities. The rabbis and classical commentators continue Miriam's defacement by using Numbers chapter 12 to identify tzara'at as the punishment for gossip, which is for what? For lashara. This historical explanation attempts to make a puzzling story and its commentary intelligible by reading them as description or responses to specific social and political situations. They are interested in what Miriam's disgrace tells us about the construction of genders in ancient Israel or in the rabbinic thought. But historical solution
for this particular story caused theological problem to precipitate out. Because once you are trying to solve one problem, another one arises. Because they don't have an actual answer for that question. Why did God actually do this to Miriam? We understand, yes, she spoke Lashon Hara against her brother. Yes, she wants to teach her a lesson that you don't do that anymore. Yes, but the question that arises is that where are all our accomplishments? Why don't we credit Miriam with all the things that she has done for the people of Israel? Even though the Midrashim said that Miriam was the one that offered water in the wilderness for the entire time of Israel when we were in the wilderness. It was Miriam that was the stone, the rock that comes out the water. It was when Miriam died, the water stopped. You see, we can see that. So where are all these accomplishments that Miriam has accomplished that we don't give her the credit? Right? Is it an attempt by our rabbis or by our sages to gradually remove women from the state of power in the community? Remember, our Torah is the Torah of justice. God gave us the Torah of truth and the Torah of life. When a particular story happened in the Torah, which we are going to also come to, there was a man that has children, and this man has no sons. He only has daughters. And when the time of division of property comes, since he has no son, no descendant, male, so the women, they rose up. They said, why should our father's name die in Israel? They cried loud. They went to Moshe, and they explained to Moses, our father died because of his sin. Our father died because he had committed a sin of himself, but he is not part of those that rose up against God. He wasn't part of them. So why should our father's name die or be eradicated in Israel? Moses said, okay, what you are saying is true. Moshe said, what you are saying is just. Wait here, let me consult God. He consulted God, and God said, what the women said is true. What they are saying is a fact. You shall give them inheritance among their people. See, you can see that was the first time in history of the people that women can inherit a property of their fathers. You don't need to transfer the property of their fathers to the father's brothers. No, but to the children, to the female. Even though if the man does not have a male child or a male descendant, the female that he has can inherit their father's property, making them equal with men. The same thing here. But why is our rabbi doesn't want to allow women to take up authority in the community? Is left for them, I don't know. And that is the question I'm asking most of our rabbi. Can you tell me the reason why? I want to understand. I want to know. If anybody has an answer, please let me know. Because we can see great women, as I mentioned, Deborah was a leader. The Torah spoke about that. She was a judge in Israel. She has her husband. She has her own place. She respects her husband. So women can take up a place of authority, and they can do it perfectly where they are capable. We're not making our women like a second sort, like a second class citizen. No, our women are capable to do a lot of things as we also, the men. There are 2 time-honored rules for reading sacred texts with integrity. And what are these rules? Number 1, thou shalt not justify God at human expense. You shall not do that. Think about Job. Number 2, thou shalt not protect the text from rigorous intellectual examinations. In this situation, historical and critical explanation seem to undermine the text's sacredness, and the tradition answer seems both to disregard the fundamental historical principles and to justify gender injustice, which me as a person, I will not support. When I apply my 2 rules of interpretation, I must conclude that 1, I do not have any satisfactory explanation for this text, that is Numbers chapter 12, and I still hope to find one. And if anybody want to explain to me, please, I will need your assistance, I will need your help to help me to clarify this passage very well in the Torah. In my conclusion, a religious response or a religiously objectionable response. There is a man that is called Eliezer Berkovitz. He's an Orthodox scholar of uncompromising integrity. He used to say, I would rather have a good question than a bad answer. I would rather have a very, very good question than a bad answer. For most of us, any answer is better than no answer. Dissolve those indeterminants, ambiguity, and contradiction as soon as possible. Most of our standardized exam reward students for guessing and penalizing them most for not answering at all. We regard I don't know as an ultimate confession of incompetency. It is almost irresistible to fill in that terrible blank. Because when they ask a student, and the student said, I don't know, when the teacher said, oh, student, what do you think about this? The student said, I don't know. He said, oh, this student is what? Is incompetent. This student doesn't understand. I've been teaching you all this. Why don't you understand? You are incompetent. But the student is giving you the right answer. I don't know. I don't want to imagine an answer that is not true. I don't want to just come out with an answer that is a nonsense. Because a better question is a good question is better than a wrong answer or a bad answer. You know? So we need to understand that very well also. And lastly, on the other hand, to despair of an answer is seductively easy. By throwing up our hands and denouncing the struggle on the ground of insufficient information can relieve ourselves of responsibility. I'm not responsible. I don't know. One of these irresponsible non-answer we might call what is called vulgar relativism, which is the belief that since answers are merely an opinion, one is as good as or as inadequate as another. Another non-answer, which is known as intellectual nihilism, it says that declare that there are no answer because there are no values. There needs to be no comment or no commitment. There is nothing worth committing to. These are very easy way out. What is difficult is to maintain intellectual integrity and critical rigor without abandoning faith and commitment. We have to study the Torah very well. We have to search it out. We have to be able to analyze everything, because as he said, nothing in the Torah is just like that. There is a purpose where everything is placed in there like that. And our job as the Hebrew people is to examine the Torah with a microscopic lens, to examine it perfectly where that what it said is the truth and is the fact. That doesn't mean that we say, okay, because I don't understand it, I'm going to neglect it, I won't do it. No. All thing about the Torah is about faith. Right? Judaism, as I always say, is not a religion, but a faith. The faith of our fathers. The faith of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The faith that make us the children of God, not religion. So I will encourage us. I will encourage all the women in the world, all those that are watching online every time. Please encourage your daughters. Encourage them to aim high. Encourage them to aim into the position of authority in the society. Because if we want a change, if we want a God to make a change in our life, then we need our children who are embedded in the Torah to rise to the state of authority. Then the change will come. If you keep on praying every day, God, please bless us, God, please do wonder in my country, and the people that are controlling the country are evil people, then it will be very, very hard. But when we raise our children, we raise them up into the position of authority, being the student of the Torah, then they will be able to do the work of the Torah in the society. They'll be able to bring out good laws, bring out good judgments. They'll be able to do what is right and good for their country, for their people, for their community, for their synagogue. See, so all the children are what involved. Don't only think about the boys alone. No, please also think about the girls. The women are very important and they are capable of doing as much as what the men can do. Parshas BeHa'alotekha, stereotyping of women in our tradition. Shabbat Shalom.